Well, I'm sorry about the road noise, but it's 34 degrees and the air conditioning's packed up, so it's pumping hot air on me. And you might say, why don't I complain to the boss? I did, and the other day he gave me a truck. And I went nearly fucking ruined the truck by putting water in the oil. Never done that before in my life. I did a video about that on my Man Up channel. Incidentally, the Man Up channel, if you're not actually subscribed to it, you might want to. Comes with lots of advice, how to put a washing machine in. I'll be doing one about how to change a tyre, how to drive home without clutch, and also how to get a second blowjob. Now that might sound like an odd statement for a video, but how to get a second blowjob really depends on how the first one went, and I give you key advice of how to make it go as smoothly as possible so that she might actually want to do it again. Man Up channel. There should be a link in the description if I get it right. Fuck me, it's noisy. So, cyclists, do you hate them? Because at the moment, oh, this is fucking impossible. I can't hear myself. I don't know whether you can hear me. 1 minute. I've seen some real hatred going on towards cyclists at the moment. Now, I've got to be honest, some of them aren't my favourite creatures. I break them up into categories. You've got the cyclist which wears normal clothes and is just trying to get from point A to point B. Generally, they're just they're not too much a hassle, right? Let's put it that way. Then you've got kids. They're a worry. You never know what the fuckers are going to do. Then you've got the sort of spandex perverted, I like watching somebody's bum in front of me wiggle for miles on end kind of freak. You know, the one that shaves his legs because it makes him go faster. Yeah, these are probably the brand of people that that are really winding up the average motorist. And then you've got the sort of somewhere in between there that's fucking clueless lemon that really is a danger to themselves and every other fucker on the road. But with the change of the laws, okay, that I think nobody showed up to the meeting that had any common sense, and it was just the cyclists, so they get to write pretty much whatever they wanted into the rule book, and it's passed. And at the moment there's an advert, and it's on the radio, and it's saying, these are the rules. Pass at 1.5 metres, unless you're over 30 mile an hour, then give more room. Sometimes it's safer for them to ride side by side. Yeah, probably. You know, if it's not a good time to overtake, it probably would be better to be side by side, and then you pull in when it is a safer time. But this row that I witnessed, the car driver was giving it brakes, and the cyclist was riding down the middle of the road holding all the traffic up so he could have a row with him, right? And then when he went his own way, he was laughing. You could tell that he'd really enjoyed winding up the motorist. But I was in a mate's car the other day, and she drove right up behind him really quick, and then it was late on the stoppers, and I was fucking terrified. But she generally didn't like him. And the problem we've got at the moment is, whether you like them or not, that is a human being on that bike. And regardless about the person, if you did something to that person at the moment, which, whether you're actually seeing them as a human being when they're in front of you, or just an obstacle to get round, or maybe even a figure of hate, because there are some people that think they shouldn't be there, they've got no rights, they don't pay anything onto the road, so fuck them. And that gives them the right to cut them up and all the rest of it. It doesn't, by the way. Should they pay? Should they not? I'm not even getting into that argument, because yes, I pay through the nose to get my vehicle on the road tax, the insurance, the fuel. Don't get me on that one, right? But it is a way of keeping healthy. So yeah, it's a real grey area. That should they be insured? Probably, actually, because yeah. And the other thing is, when they go piling through red lights, because the red lights don't seem to apply to them for some reason, I'm wondering what the police would do if they stopped them or saw them doing it, or whether they do it around the place. But anyway, there is definitely a hatred, and people aren't seeing them as human beings. If you were to run one over and kill one, right, at the moment in your day-to-day life when nothing's gone wrong, okay, you're like, oh fuck, it'd be his fault anyway, who cares? You might not be able to cope. It might eventually, with all of the thoughts of that person had a life, I've ruined his and ended his life, her life, or they, them, there. Let's not get on that. But you then, if you're a thinking type of a person, you might not have any problem with it at all, but most probably would. Then you'll go on to what its life could have been, and then what the kids are going to go without, the rest of the family. And this could consume you with depression and misery so much that you might end up taking your own life. Killing that person could actually kill you. So you might want to think about this when you're coming up behind that person. Give them much room as possible. I know they get on your tits. And anybody that wants to drive around with a razor, or ride around with a razor blade shoved up their arse, wearing spandex and a potty on their head, you've got to question them a bit. But they are what they are. So give them as much room as possible, okay? Avoid the fuckers. Literally, it's a nightmare waiting to happen, so just avoid them at all costs. But just remember, if you did anything to them, the filth will throw the book at you, okay? So, yeah, avoid it. Anyway, Man Up channel. My next video is going to explain why the railway can't take the heat. And it is not a criticism, it's a fact. And it would be quite interesting if you're into that kind of thing. So, that's the next video. See you in a minute.